Hi guys, Jim from Forage Box TV here. Just wandering along Robin Hood's Bay over in the North York Moors. We're on a bit of a family holiday, you might be able to see them in the background. Thought I'd do a little short film. It's been a while since I've done anything on here. Build up to Christmas with the business was quite tough. As in, it was busy, it was going well, and yeah, there's not really that much going on in the foraging world in winter, or certainly not as much. I do like foraging in winter because nobody else is about, but yeah, just thought this was a nice opportunity to get the camera out again and do some filming. Got a nice dramatic backdrop. The light's probably better like this, but then I'm squinting, and even though I've got my cool shades on, I think someone's found a crab. I might go and investigate that in a second. Got my cool shades on. I thought it was probably worth coming and walking this way. Round the corner, you can see just over there, gets a bit more dramatic than the sandy beach behind me, so this is where I'm heading. I've got my little stove with me. I'm gonna see if I can find anything just for a little cook up on the beach. It might be that we get some seaweed and some winkles and maybe a shore crab on the go, but hey, it's more about the nice weather and saying hello. For those of you who haven't, and I accept that's the majority, please do like and subscribe and all that jazz. I can't work out how algorithms work, but I've got one video I think that's reached about 30,000 views, whereas I've got some that are on about 70, as in 70, and that's it. I don't know how that happens, but I would urge you to go and check them out. If you've seen the one that's the very popular one, that's not to say that the others are no good. I don't really know how that's worked. But yeah, it's nice to see that 30,000 or so, however many people, really want to get stuck in. So yeah, that's great. So I'm just waffling now, aren't I? Yeah, head over to the channel, have a look at the other videos. There's some really interesting stuff in there, I think, that just hasn't got that many views, circling around the sort of 100 mark rather than these higher ones. Yeah, right, enough waffling. Let's go and find some stuff. So, probably worth mentioning seaweed. The seaweed at this time of year is in its dormancy, like a lot of green plants. So you can see it's sort of a bit brown and not very lush looking. Now, this is not Bear Grylls, this is not a survivalist thing, this is trying to find something tasty. So what we've got here is all the rack seaweed. There's bladder rack and there's some channel rack lurking over there as well. We might look out for some rack siphon weed, which is a sort of truffly flavour. You can see there's absolute carpets of the stuff. Oh, saw my shadow, that's unprofessional. But we're actually going to go and look at these rocks here to see if we can find any slightly more interesting bits and bobs. You can see my family over there scurrying around in the rock pools, which is great. They've gotten the bug too. How about that for some blue sky over there? So we have got lots and lots of limpets lurking around. Now you can eat limpets. They're a bit chewy. I don't mind the taste. They taste kind of seafoody like you'd expect. But realistically for today, if we were on limpets, that would be sort of, yeah, it'd be nice to try and find a crab. I don't think the tide's going out in about, it'll be low tide in about half an hour's time, at which point I think we'd still be pushing it to find anything like a brown crab or a lobster, but you never know. I found a lobster just around the corner here only a few months ago, and that was great. So yeah, we won't settle on limpets just yet. I think we should go and try and find some other bits and bobs. Don't know if you can make it out in the video, but we've got lots of periwinkles lurking under here, hiding away from the stronger currents. And as my shadow walks past them, they obviously sense a predator being nearby and they sort of ping off the rock to drop to safety. Okay, so down here on the floor there's sea lettuce. Now sea lettuce dries to taste like a really lovely like umami kind of typical seaweedy flavour, but stir fried or even eating straight out of the sea. All right, bit gritty. But we've got a really nice, what's the flavour? Sort of green seaweedy flavour. Very, very nice. So yeah, I'll put some of that in as well. You can see I've not taken too much. Carefully peeling it from the rocks rather than do anything else. Yeah, plenty. I'm gonna help myself. I'm not gonna have the camera on for this bit. Well, team, wasn't very successful. I've got a 2-year-old daughter who requires a lot of attention. So at some point we'll go and light ourselves a little fire and cook what we found. We found some bigger Winkles, proper land size snail type, well, from the sea, but land snail size ones, big ones, so we'll have those. We've got some limpets, because we've resorted to that. We did look for some crabs. We found a couple of crabs, but they weren't big enough, and so we left them there. Similarly, we found a few eels and a few like blennies and other little baby fish, so we left them exactly where they were. But we did find some sea truffle. We saw that sea lettuce that I got on video, and yeah, it's more of an excuse to just say, well, more of an excuse really to go and get the camera out to mess around at the beach and of course play with the fire, but also just to say I'm still here. There's very exciting things planned for Forage Box and Forage Box TV this year. Some big projects in the pipeline. Yeah, lots to look out for. I think I can't remember how many subscribers this channel has now. It's got a few, and I think if you are interested in maybe learning a little bit more, or if there's certain things that catch your eye, or you know, whatever it is, if you've just got questions, I'd say write in the comments below and I'll see, you know, I'll try and get back to you. I'm aware that lots of channels do kind of Q&As and that sort of thing, and that's not really, well, maybe I'll get to do that a little bit later down the line. This isn't really meant to be about me and my face. It's meant to be about foraging and trying to encourage people to get out there, even though obviously you're living vicariously outside through this channel. Yeah, I don't really know what else there is to say other than be kind to everybody. There's lots of ill feeling in the world towards one another at the moment, and that's a bit of a hippie-like thing to say, but it's very easy to be horrible. And it's what's the Smiths song? It takes guts to be gentle and kind, so you should be gentle and kind to each other. If you see somebody who maybe, or you encounter somebody who you don't agree with, or you disagree with them, don't automatically think that they're a bad person because they don't have an opinion that aligns with yours. You know, try and open a conversation, open a dialogue. I'm constantly opening conversations up with people who don't agree with foraging, people who think it's detrimental to wildlife. I don't think that that is the case when it's done sustainably and ethically and properly, like a lot of things, you know. Wild camping is great, but if you do it wrong, it's bad. Farming keeps us all alive, but if it's done wrong, it's bad. Fishing the same. There's loads of these industries, and foraging falls into that category. I am going to take the time this year to write a few sort of, I don't want to call them articles because they're not going to be published anywhere other than our website, but there'll be a few longer reads, as people call them, for you to get stuck into if you want to see some slightly less, well, more concise waffling than me talking into a camera and spontaneously thinking of things as I walk across the beach, trying not to get my feet wet. So yeah, I think the best thing is to head to foragebox.co.uk if you're interested in more of this. There's a few other bits and bobs you can sort of get stuck into. Running workshops throughout the year, in the northwest and Wales, including a couple of coastal ones. I'm trying to organise an overnight coastal camp as well, so that we'll go and camp by the sea, make a few fires, catch a few bits, cook some things up. But yeah, have a nice little foraging blast. I think that'd be great fun. People are looking at me now because I'm pointing the camera in my face. So what I'll do is I'll say goodbye for now. Hopefully, towards the end of this long waffly conversation, you'll get some nice scenic shots, and then maybe a shot of a fire on my little bush box so that we can cook up what we've found. Otherwise it's going to be a bit sort of anticlimactic for those watching if we just end up going back to the house and cooking it on the stove, even though obviously that will still be delicious. I think that's enough waffling, isn't it? Cool. Speak to you later. Bye bye. Hi everyone, Jim here. Not really sure what was happening at this stage. My camera was having a bit of a meltdown. So we missed a lovely sunset and essentially me waffling on again. So what's going to happen now is we're going to skip forward to the bit with me cooking in the woods. Just get a bit patchy and frantic. I'm afraid that's just because the camera wasn't having a very good time of it, but you kind of get the gist. So here we go. Slight change of plan then. I've had to steal an hour to go and finish off this video. So I've actually come out to the woods. I've got my beautiful sunset. I've got my fire, which is in a bush box, so it's looking after the floor, and I'll cook out here instead. My battery's been a bit weird, so these will be short clips. A quick look at what we've got then. So I picked up some limpets, some big juicy limpets, and also some, I upgraded my periwinkles to something even bigger. You can see just how big those ones are. Looking forward to tucking into them. And then a mixture of seaweeds. We've got sea truffle, pepper dulse, there's some sea lettuce floating around down here, and there's some rack seaweed underneath, which I'm going to try and crisp up. A bit like you might find in a Chinese takeaway. So we've got some olive oil, that'll go over the top, and then a vinaigrette as well, which will hopefully lift all the rest. And I've also picked up, on the way down, some chickweed that'll go as a bit of a garnish. So hopefully that'll be delicious. Okay, so in my pan, I don't know if you can see, the snails are all done. I've got some beautiful seaweed there. Oh, it's hot. Oh. It's all good. And then I also made up a little woodland canapé. Got to be quick because my battery's going. Wood sorrel, chickweed, limpet, and sea truffle. Delicious. Okay, another quick one. Got me winkle. Got my little toothpick thing that I made. Basically, I'm going to encourage it out. Come on, you rascal. So, there's me thing. Out it comes. Leaving no trace. Well, I've no idea what's going on with the battery, but I just want to say thank you for watching. And goodbye. I promise they'll be much more professional than this in the future. Like, subscribe, all that. And see you soon. Bye.